Welcome to the Cannabis Investor Series, as we present a first-hand look into the rapidly evolving cannabis industry and the opportunities that lie ahead.
Thank you for tuning in. I'm Anil Mull. I represent the Canadian Securities Exchange, and this is Investing in Cannabis, the series that we've put together. Part of this initiative, we are talking to some of our cannabis companies and their executives about the culture of consumption. And today I am talking to Mr. Carl Saling. Carl is the founder, CEO of Hollister Biosciences. Hollister is a US-based MSO that is founded in the birthplace of the American biker, Hollister, California. They've got an excellent product, which is known as the hash bone. It's the #1 hash infused pre-roll in California. In case you might have missed it, Carl and I had a chance to talk, a lengthy conversation about a year ago. We'll make sure to add the link on the bottom. In case you've missed it, you can take a look at that video as well and learn a little bit more about Carl, his passion, his team. But we've got him here today. So Carl, thank you so much for joining us. How are you?
I'm doing amazing, Anil. Thank you for having me. Really appreciate it. I love everything that you guys are doing to help promote, cannabis, investing, public stocks, all that stuff. It's really amazing.
It's such an exciting space with so much information out there that I find that having this access to executives, founders, CEOs like yourself and centers of influence in the cannabis space, it just definitely brings out not only the passion that the people in this industry have, but it's a great way for investors or even possible investors to find out about you guys and what the company is all about. So before I talk too much, why don't you give our viewers just a brief introduction to the vision and history of Hollister?
Yeah, so thank you for that. Hollister Biosciences, we're a multi-state cannabis operator. We have operations in California and in Arizona. In Arizona, we're known as Venom Extracts, and we are the leading concentrate company in Arizona. You can find us in most of the dispensaries in Arizona. In California, we're known as Hollister Cannabis Co. And like you said, we started in California, and luckily we were the very first license awarded in the city of Hollister. So we're actually based in the city of Hollister, California. We're really proud of that. Hollister has a very long-standing biker culture, which we really identify with. And we've actually, brought in some other brands for us to really capitalize on that market. And, naming, the Easy Riders brand is something that we're really proud of being associated with. And we have a nationwide exclusive to develop cannabis products around that brand. So, bringing in the biker culture in the cannabis, as well as music, super important to us, to be able to do that in an authentic way.
Love it. So the Hollister, California, the birthplace of the American biker. And obviously you guys have a few brands that reflect the culture that your company and team come from. So talk to us a little bit about some of your brands that you have. I see in the background, obviously the most well-known is your hash bone. It's the #1 hash infused pre-roll in California. You guys, I think last time we talked, you guys had introduced the hash bone minis as well.
Yes.
But I'll let you talk to us a little bit about your existing brands and anything new that you guys might have added.
Yeah, so the hash bone is our flagship brand in California, and it's a bubble hash infused pre-roll. So people who don't know what bubble hash is really like an old school way of making an extract. There's no solvents. All we use is ice and water and agitation, because the trichomes are actually on the outside of the plant. A lot of people don't understand that. It's not on the inside, it's on the outside. So we need to get those off in the most effective way without any solvents. So that's with ice and water agitation, and then we harvest that. And then once we dry it, we then blend it with top shelf flower in a ratio of 75% flower to 25% bubble hash. And the bubble hash has a lot of terpenes and flavonoids, and like all the goodness that's in cannabis is in that. And that really creates an amazing enhanced experience for the consumer. And to your point about the minis, so it was actually great timing, because when COVID hit last year, consumption patterns dramatically shifted. People were going away from the really large joints that they would share with people and go to a more single-use personal kind of product. And that's what the Hashbone Mini launched with, which is a pack of 5 gram, a pack of 5 half-gram hash bones. And that enabled people now, to be able to share with others instead of having to share your own joint. So we kind of called the Hashbone Mini the new social essential. We also make an amazing product for Tommy Chong's cannabis, and that's called Tommy Chong's Full Spectrum Elixir, and it's a tincture, so it's a drop, and it's a 1-to-1 ratio of CBD to THC. So that's really great for people with pain, wanting to go to sleep, and that need a little boost of some THC. Also, we make another product called Tactical Relief, which is another tincture, but that's targeted to first responders and veterans. And that's very, very important to us. My wife, Amasa, who's also VP of production for the company, she's a veteran. Her whole family are veterans. And it's cannabis has such a benefit for, wounded soldiers, people with PTSD, traumatic experiences. So we developed this product to really help them. And it's a super high CBD tincture. And the response has been amazing. People are saying that it's really helping them, and we're very proud of that. And we're also donating 5% of the profits of that product back to the communities, for veterans.
Can I just jump in there, Carl? So obviously, it's something that we haven't had a conversation with too many cannabis companies, where they're making brands and products that are strictly geared towards first responders, towards veterans, whereas you might see other companies and brands more gearing towards the traditional cannabis consumer. So how does a company like Hollister come up with these brands, these products, and then what is the education process like going out there to let the community of veterans, the community of first responders find out and get more comfortable, get educated with your brand and products?
Great question. So Tactical Relief, that's a joint venture between Hollister and a company called Allied Health. And they have the Tactical Relief brand. It was created by a gentleman by the name of Adam Smith, who was a 17-year Green Beret veteran. I mean, he's seen everything. He's like the 1% of 1%. Like, the dude's amazing. And, he was, I don't know, probably moments from committing suicide because of just the traumatic experiences and all the stuff that he saw and was involved in. And luckily a friend, like he got too drunk or something, he couldn't do it, and a friend talked to him about CBD, and he started researching, and it changed his life forever. And he became amazingly passionate and created this Tactical Relief brand, and it really resonated with us, because like I said, my wife's a veteran. It's very important for us to be able to give back to especially first responders, to be able to help them. So after we developed the product and we started distributing it into the California dispensary market, we have, we call them brand ambassadors, that go out to the different dispensaries. We're starting to be able to do that more and more now, as some of the COVID restrictions are being alleviated. And then we can actually talk one-on-one with the patients coming into the dispensaries and really educate them on the benefits of our tincture and how it can really help them.
So an important part of this education process would also be not only to educate the consumer who's coming in, but also the bud tenders at these various dispensaries and locations. So does your team and company sort of host education sessions for these bud tenders so they're better poised to talk about this and confidently sell the product
Yes,
or
for
recommend the product, I should say?
yeah, that's a very important process. So it's almost like a three-pronged process that we launch with. So we have education to the buyers and the owners of the dispensary, who actually make the purchasing decisions. And then we also have an education day with the bud tenders. We sample the product out to them so they can try it. Because if you don't understand it and you don't try it, it's really hard to recommend it to somebody.
Yeah.
And then we really impart to them, the message, the benefits, and how it can really help people. So, and then we're also doing that in store, to the consumers coming in. So, hopefully that three-pronged process gets the message across, how beneficial it is.
Great. What about the response from the veteran community? What's that been like?
It's been great. We've had some, veterans reach out and say how it's really helping them. And, we're really excited. We're working really hard to expand it and to get it into as many dispensaries as we can. COVID, again, was a challenge for everybody for that, but, things are starting to loosen up and making it a little bit easier to make that happen.
You talked a bit about your collabs. Obviously the Tommy Chong's cannabis collab, the tactical relief. Are there any new, so with specifically with Tommy Chong's, you mentioned that it's a tincture product that you have. Are you guys working on any new products that you'll be launching with that line, or is it for now just strictly
Yep.
tincture?
For now, it's going to be, the Tommy Chong full spectrum elixir. We'll be looking at other products down the road, but that's the main focus for that one. We do have a really cool hard rock heavy metal collab coming out. One of our goals is to really combine music, especially hard rock and metal, with cannabis in a truly authentic way that's really hasn't been done before. There's a lot of rap and hip hop artists that are in the cannabis space, and that's all great. But I want to really bring heavy metal and hard rock to the forefront of the cannabis conversation. And our first collaboration, which I'm super proud of, is with Clown from Slipknot. And it's a collab with Hashbone, Heavy Grass, which is a heavy metal brand as well, and then Clown. And what's really amazing and why we're working with Clown and why Clown is working with us, it's really about the medicine. Cannabis is really medicine for so many people. Even if they're buying it recreationally, it's still, for a lot of people, it's medicine. I mean, it helps me, it helps Clown, it helps a lot of people. And this collaboration is going to be amazing. Very, very excited about that.
I'm sure you're super excited about it, Carl, because if anyone missed our previous conversation, and from the many that you and I have had offline, you are a huge heavy metal fan. You've been a big supporter, and you've mentioned that even the last time we spoke, that you want to have you want the company to have a focus on the culture, on music, specifically heavy metal. So this partnership or this collab that's coming up with Clown from Slipknot, how excited are you?
I am beyond excited. I mean, it's almost like a bucket list event for me. And the packaging is amazing. We really created an awesome looking package. The product is it's a 6-pack of 0.5 gram Hashbone minis. And the significance of 6 is that Clown. So when Slipknot first formed, everybody had a number, and Clown is number 6. So that's the kind of the significance of having it be 6.
6. So
and the product, it's actually one of the best hash bones we've ever made. The testing came out at 40% THC. I mean, it's a whopper. And it tastes amazing. It's super smooth. Clown loves them. Everybody that's tried them, they're blown away by it. We're going to be doing an amazing, huge launch, and it's just going to be super fun. And then, we'll have Clown come out to certain dispensaries and do meet and greets with the fans, to get up close and really see him and talk to him about it, and talk to him about cannabis and how it helps him. And it's just awesome. Super.
Oh, I bet. And so how did this relationship with Clown and Slipknot come about? Was it an existing sort of friendship relationship that you guys had, or did you guys have to go out there and align yourselves with the right groups to be able to talk to Slipknot?
Yeah, so through our collaboration and relationship with Heavy Grass, that's how we got the Clown. They're tied into management and pretty much all of the bands in the genre. So they have, access to many, many different bands.
And I'm sure there's probably a bunch more that are on the sidelines waiting for you guys to be ready for another collab and come out with some new products for their band.
Yeah, and it's actually important that it's a collaboration in my mind, because you see a lot of celebrities trying to stand up brands, and it really doesn't work because typically it's not authentic, and it's higher priced, same product as other people have. So once it's purchased once and they try it, like, okay, I can get the same product without having to pay for the celebrity. So we're working on a different way to make that happen and still stay authentic.
It definitely has to be more than just the packaging to pull that consumer in and make them a regular purchaser, consumer of that product, right? Because if the packaging looks great, they might buy it once, but if the guts aren't good inside,
yeah, that's
they're very unlikely that they're coming back, just because there's so many products to pick from as well.
There's a plethora, especially in California. I mean, there's 500 brands, maybe.
Carl, I was reading an article the other day. Maybe you can shed some insight and give me your thoughts on this. I seen an article that Mars Wrigley was going out there with a bunch of lawsuits for some of these cannabis products that are geared and made to look like some of their products, like the Skittles, the Nerds ropes, and things like that. What are your thoughts on that?
I think that is an easy way to get a lawsuit. It's not the way to market really anything, like copying somebody else's brand and then changing it, adding THC to it just to capitalize on that. I think is totally the wrong way to go. We would never do anything like that. It doesn't make sense, and it opens yourself up. I mean, like if you look at the last big one was Gorilla Glue. So there was the Gorilla Glue strain. They had a big lawsuit and they settled on changing it to GG4.
That's one of my favorites.
Yes, same here. It's actually great for veterans too. But creating candies around Nerds and Skittles and Reese's peanut butter cups. I mean, back in the early days, in the medical landscape before it actually became recreational cannabis, people would take Kit Kat bars and slap hash butter on the back of it and repackage it. I mean, you really can't do that. And
I guess from a quality controlled standpoint too, a lot of these products that are being sold are being sold at legacy dispensaries, let's call them that.
Trap shops, yes, totally. And so, I mean, a lot of the argument in legalization is keeping cannabis away from kids, right?
Yeah.
Totally. So why would you ever create a product around a candy that kids love, Nerds, Skittles, whatever, and then try to sell that? I mean, it's horrible. And every time I see it, I get upset, and it should never be allowed, ever.
Yeah, and I'm glad to see that Mars Wrigley is now taking that stand where they're going after all these guys, whether they're big or small, to not have the brands that they've created with, having that familiarity with these products, and now have someone come and dip them in THC or whatever they might be doing to them. So I just thought I'd get your thoughts on that. Now, you mentioned earlier when we were talking about the Hashbone minis that due to COVID, consumer tastes and habits had changed where they weren't sharing the big pre-rolled joints. They much prefer to have a single one for personal use. Have you noticed any other changes over the last year in consumer habits?
Yes, definitely edibles have dramatically increased in sales. Gummies are super huge, pretty much everywhere. And excuse me, that's an easy way for people to consume. It's discreet, especially with COVID. Not everybody wants to smoke now either. So being able to take a tincture or a little gummy, that's definitely increased in the consumption.
So lots going on with the company. I guess the most recent thing is you're excited about these collabs within the heavy metal community and the industry and bands, and just kind of getting the name out there to that side of the community. You guys launched a consumer website.
Yes.
A platform, I should say, a consumer platform where people can go and access your products by ways of delivery to their residence or place of work. It's called Dreamy Delivery.
Yes.
Talk to us about that.
Yeah, so Dreamy Delivery, it's our direct-to-consumer platform. We not only sell all the Hollister brands, but we sell all the leading brands as well, because we want to create a really robust choice for people. So it's not just Hollister, but it enables us to bypass the dispensaries and go direct to consumer, which helps to increase our margin. Currently, we're operational in Sacramento, the Bay Area, and Hollister. So that really enables us to deliver from Sacramento down to Carmel, which is about 21% of the population, which is pretty large. So, when COVID hit, I actually started in delivery in 2014 in San Diego, and we always had plans to get back into delivery. That was always in our business plan. But when COVID hit, that dramatically accelerated things for us. When you're trying to change consumers' buying habits, it typically takes a lot of money and a lot of time, and seemingly overnight, things changed. So we really accelerated the launch. And we were able to launch Sacramento and the Bay Area the end of last year. And then Hollister came online the first quarter of this year, and the goal is to expand it across California.
Carl, obviously we're talking about the culture of consumption. This week that this interview will be highlighted, we'll be talking a lot about the crossroads between cannabis, corporate culture, and individuals like yourself and your team that come about and try to mash the two together or the three together. I know that you and Hollister have a blog on your website. Most recently, I seen a write-up on the virtues of being a 420 mentor. It was written just around 420, the Christmas of cannabis. Can you talk to us a little bit about why this mentorship and working with youngsters and sort of molding them and being a good mentor to them is so important and of value to you?
Yeah, so 420 is like the Christmas of cannabis, and there's a ton of attention on it. And I just think it's good to provide some education to people around like what 420 is about, and what ways to consume, ways to think about it. Not to overconsume, because you could get all excited and that happens on 420. But it's just important to get some education out there and help people make some decisions.
Perfect. So what's next other than the collab?
Well,
new brands, new
I do
stuff,
want to
new
talk about
delivery.
Venom Extracts, which is our Arizona brand.
Yeah,
Um,
let's talk a little bit about Arizona.
so we're the dominant brand in Arizona. Um, we are the largest concentrate provider. We have, over 20% of the market share of concentrates in Arizona. Very important. Jake, our COO, he's doing an amazing job. COVID happened and our sales robustly increased. And then recreational was just launched in Arizona, and we have some really robust sales growth there. And we're working hard on increasing our margins, bringing Hashbone into Arizona, bringing other SKUs into Arizona, as well as developing some of our own footprint in some of the supply chain areas. So very excited. Venom is a huge driver for Hollister, huge part of our revenue. We're very proud to have them, as part of the Hollister team.
Arizona, California, two very different markets.
Very different.
Have you noticed differences in consumer trends and habits between these two states?
Yeah, what's interesting, and I think as each market matures, they kind of follow a similar path. The timing of it is different, but things like vape pens and extracts, the different derivatives of those. So for example, when California first became legal in 2018, distillate-based vape pens were very popular, and the majority of the sales in that category. And then as the market matured and customers became more aware of other products like live resin, which is a higher quality product as far as having terpenes and more of the cannabis components in it, that became more popular, and then distillate kind of shifted. And I see that happening as well in Arizona, probably in a more of a compressed time than it did in California, but they all seem to follow a similar pattern. And as people gravitate, more towards, we'll just call it higher quality, not that it's not high quality, but it has more cannabinoids and flavonoids and terpenes and all that stuff that is really part of the medicine. Those kind of products are going to increase in popularity.
Perfect. Well, Carl, it's been a pleasure spending a little bit of time with you via this Zoom screen. I'm hoping sooner than later, as we lack some of these COVID restrictions, that we're able to get back to conferences, get back out there and see each other face to face. But I want to end this one off with something a little personal. Obviously, we're talking about, or your personal opinion on this topic. What does cannabis culture mean to you?
Yeah, cannabis culture means to me, it's a community of sharing, of collaboration, of inclusion. Cannabis is really meant to be shared. I mean, I share it with friends. I mean, I'm a consumer. I don't drink alcohol. I don't do anything else. I just do cannabis at night, a little bit of it, kind of smooths things out. And I like to share that with people. So it's really, speaking of events, a cannabis event versus any other event, it's totally different. People are happy, people are chill, people want to talk to people, they want to commune. It's really about community and being together. And I love it.
Yeah, and to add to that, it's, if you go back and you think a few decades ago, or even 5 years, or yeah, about, let's say a couple of decades, this culture that we talk about right now, if you really think about it, it came from the counterculture of cannabis. Yes. Where we couldn't really have these conversations and open and put them out on the internet or on platforms like the Canadian Securities Exchange and get the word out to investors. So it's great to see how far the industry's come from counterculture and it being hush hush and being done behind closed doors, to us being able to confidently have these talks as professionals in the industry and educate consumers, brands and just the public in general about how good the plant is doing for the community, how good the industry is doing for the economy. They're all pluses here. So I'm excited to see, not only the industry grow, but you, your team, your brands grow and obviously expand your footprint into other states other than just California and Arizona for now.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, right now we're doubling down on Arizona and California, and then at some point in time we will definitely look to expand into other states.
Where can our viewers and listeners go to keep up with your recent news, brands, read about your collaborations?
Yeah, so we have several sites. So the first one is Hollister Biosciences.co. That's a great spot for all the corporate information, for our investor presentation, to be connected to our IR department and all that stuff. You can look at us at venomextracts.com for everything about Arizona and all the products and services that we supply there. And then Hollister Cannabis Co. Here in California, and you'll see our collabs and information about the hash bone and all our other products there as well.
Excited to hear more about this collaboration that you talked about with Six and Slipknot, and the future ones that will be coming up eventually. Carl, again, it's been great talking to you, and I look forward to watching your company grow. Thank you for your time.
Awesome. It's been great. We shouldn't wait a year to do this again.
Absolutely not. You let me know. Well, maybe what we can do is, as things relax and you have these collabs, maybe we do a small clip and talk about how those have been working out for the company.
Awesome. And then I actually think MJ BizCon is going to happen this year. So,
I think they've announced a date for October.
Yeah, if you guys can get out of Canada.
It's going to be a battle this time around. We have now just started having a lot of our I myself have now got my first shot, so I'm hoping by October things have settled down and our borders are open again and we can come out there and travel. But if not, I will be there with you in spirit.
We'll do a live stream from it then.
That would be great. We could definitely do something like that. Maybe we do it at do an Instagram live or something.
That would be awesome.
Awesome. Well, Carl, I hope you and your team stay happy, stay healthy out there as we get past COVID. And I look forward to hearing from you soon.
Same to you. Thanks, Anil. It was awesome.
This is the Cannabis Investor Series.